What's up, family? I'm the guy that showcases and promote African-American businesses operating here in the greater Phoenix area. Please help me further support these amazing entrepreneurs by not only supporting my YouTube channel or following me on Facebook, but also stop by their businesses and give them a little economic support. My name is Shaka and this is African-American-Made. How you doing today?
I am doing well.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to showcase your business and talk about what you do. Won't you tell me your name and the name of your business?
My name is Genary Freeman, and I am the owner of BG Events Management.
BG Events Management. Now, it is spelled uniquely.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
It's my name and my sister's name, my late baby sister's name. I took her first initial, which is B, and we grew up. Her name was BB, I was GG, so BG Event Management.
Okay, and my condolences to you and your family for your loss.
Thank you.
Won't you tell me where you hail from?
I hail from the west side of Chicago.
All right.
Born and raised.
Chicago. Usually everyone says the south side of Chicago.
No, I'm a west sider. Yeah, we're different. We're cut different.
Okay, so briefly, can you tell me the difference between the west side of Chicago and the south side of Chicago? I know it's funny to you, but
I am finna start a whole war.
Yeah, there you go. Don't get in trouble out here, because you know there's a lot of Chicago out here.
It's a lot of Chicago, but we got rules. No, the west side is considered the wild side. We are not wild. We're just extravagant.
Extravagant.
We're very extravagant.
So you're like the burbs then.
We are like, okay. we're similar to the burbs until you mess with us.
Okay, right. Because you know your cousins, all your cousins
there
over
there.
Go. All right. I got it. And what brought you to the Valley?
Actually, being a single mom, living in Chicago, I just said if I'm gonna struggle and do it on my own and raise my kids on my own, I might as well do it in a place where it's warm and spacious, you know, and why not? There's no snow here.
There you go. And how long have you been here?
10 years.
10 years,
yes.
Yeah. So how are you dealing with that heat though?
I love it.
Oh, you love it?
Okay.
I love it. Okay. The kids?
Well, they haven't complained. The twins got here at 4, so they haven't complained. As far as they know, this is their habitat.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk about BG Entertainment.
Yes.
Okay, you are an event manager.
That's correct.
Okay, tell us what an event manager is and what do you do?
Well, event management, what I do in event management is I manage how and who and what is going to be orchestrated during the entire event. I would then deal with small businesses and entrepreneurs as far as the vendors, and that's what makes me different from any other party planner or event planner.
And what inspired you to get into this line of business when you were thinking about what you wanted to do in terms of having your own business?
Growing up in Chicago, we're very community orientated. My mother was a minister. My grandparents were ministers. My sisters were evangelists. So I grew up in the church and I grew up fellowshipping and customer service and just dealing with community and customer service and speaking and all that rolled up into one. It's missing. And I miss it, you know, and just a smile, a hello. And I decided, you know what, I want to try and change how we used to, or how we are towards each other. And that's how this all started.
So you're using this business to connect with the community, bring the community in through events.
That is true.
Okay, and you are the conduit, if you will, between those people that you represent when you put their events together and the community.
Correct.
You know what? I'm getting it now.
It's real simple.
Okay. So how did you solicit your clients?
Actually, I haven't had the problems of soliciting them. It could be something as simple as just an idea. I see where you could grow, or where that your business could grow. I can see where it can grow further. And I'll just present maybe an idea to you, like, hey, did you think about this? And usually majority of my clients, or the people that I do work with, they're like, you know what, I didn't think of it that way, and that's a great idea. And that's how we usually connect.
Okay. And so far, like, what type of events have you been involved in since you've been in the Valley?
Well, I did one in April. It was called the Fortunate Unfortunate Conversation Woman to Woman. And I did this on I guess this is the west side of the Valley, Glendale.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. But it was in Glendale. It was in Nefertiti's hair salon. And it was marvelous. It was an amazing time. The women were comfortable, and it was women from all types of genre, whether they were ministers, whether they were just customer service reps. We had entrepreneurs, we had business owners, we had mothers, we had teachers. We had all types of women there, and it was beautiful. It was magnificent. We were in a very comfortable setting. We were in a beauty salon. I mean, goodness. We brought food, we had wine, and we talked.
And what was the conversations about?
Basically supporting each other, just on different levels, as far as raising our children, how we conduct ourselves with our mates, religious factors within ourselves. Are we conducting ourselves as Christians? Are we living that way? So we talked about a lot.
So was this more of a faith-based type of meeting, or was it more secular?
It is not. It's more secular. I'm sorry. It's more secular. I don't want to. It is faith-based, but I want to incorporate secular in there only because everyone has not been introduced to a faith-based religion, and people are getting to know it. So I don't want anyone feeling like, oh, she's, beating people over the head, with what she wants them to know. No, I just want us to all get some type of familiarity around each other.
Okay, that sounds good. So you not only facilitate events with women on a faith-based platform.
Correct.
You also do events like for recording orders and things like that.
That is correct.
Okay, tell us about that. And how did that come to be?
Well, that came with me for the love of music, honestly. I was raised on gospel music, and like everybody else, probably pretty much every artist, especially Black artists, we're pretty much raised on Black music, and I just started getting into more of the Afro beats, the Afro sounds, and it brought me back to the Marvin Gayes, the Gladys Knights, the Aretha Franklins, the Nina Simones. It's like I want to go back to before the industry gets the artists. And that's where the bread and butter is. That's where that cream is, that sweetness. And I want to experience it. And I thought about it, everyone else would love that. So why not share it? So I wanted to present a platform for artists where that they can come showcase their own music. But not only their music, their personalities, their stories. They're not being controlled at that moment, so they're free birds. And it's an amazing thing to watch them soar their wings.
So you deal with artists that are coming up, up and coming artists, and you select the events well, should I say, you select the venue rather.
Correct.
That they perform at to showcase their up and coming projects or their current projects.
That is correct.
Okay, and how do you connect with them? Like,
so what I would do is I've come across a lot of artists, and very few can stop me in my track. I mean, there are a lot of talented people out there, but there are very few that can make me kind of double back and like, wait a minute, what did you just do? I then would proposition them as far as asking them, hey, you know, I think you are amazing, and I would love to showcase your music and give you that opportunity to have the audience see you uncut, raw, you know, and build your clientele, build your audience, have you on give you the opportunities to expand, possibly meeting promoters and other artists as well you might want to collab with, or maybe they might want to collab with you.
Yeah, that's important too,
yes.
Because especially out here in the Valley, there's a lot of talent out here, but from what I understand, there's very little industry here. So
that's correct, and that's what I want. That's what this platform is set up for. It's for them to have a place to come. If you go back east in New York, or well, back years ago in Chicago, when we did live bands and jam sessions and stuff like that, people were lining up to sign up, you know, for hours ahead of time, or days ahead of time, or weeks ahead of time. And that's what we want to get, because we want the artists to be able to come and truly unbear themselves. And with that, God knows who can see them.
That's amazing, and that's a very important thing that you're doing. Acting as a conduit between the community and these amazing artists. So you also manage the facilitation of conferences.
Yes.
Right? Tell me about that, and how does one even begin to put together a conference for a particular event?
My very first conference was in Chicago. And it basically just started as a dream, a thought. And I decided to put it on paper. And I took that paper and I brought it to life, actually. It's just basic steps. It's just, first off, making the decision on this is what you want to do.
Okay.
And then you got to go for it. You know, there is no, with making events or doing events, like you can't pause it. Once it's out there, it's out there. And your name is attached to it. So you want to bring it to life. You want to see it explore. You want to, flourish. You want to see it explode into this marvelous, wonderful creation. And it's not hard once you start dealing with individuals as far as small business owners or entrepreneurs who are trying to get their businesses known or acknowledged as well. And you just go from there.
I'm glad you reminded me of that, because that is your niche right there, dealing with small businesses, right?
Yes.
So going back to the conference thing, so is the first step like obviously contacting a venue, right, to see if it's available? Right?
Yes.
You got your date, or do you start by selecting a date or the availability of a place for a certain date?
Well, you start by your date. Okay. And the reason why I start by my date is because I'm going to pick 3 dates. One, that's my definite, like, no bars turn, I'm not going to turn away. My second would be, okay, if you can give me this, then I'll take that. Third would be, dang it, you know what, we got to settle.
Okay. So you have your date, right?
Yes.
Okay, January 25th.
January 25th, all right. Where are we at? Where are we at? What are we doing? Is it a birthday? Is it an anniversary? What are we doing?
I say the 25th because everybody wants to do something on the holidays, right? So you say you want to do it at the Hyatt, or at the, wherever you do it, or at the The VFW, I don't know.
And look, and then I would get on that phone, and what I would do is call the actual hotel, and I would ask to speak to their guest services for events or coordinators for events. They would then, 9 out of 10, you're not going to speak to them directly because they're usually pretty busy. You get their voicemail, you leave a message, and tentatively will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours, depending upon when you call, the holiday time and everything. But they're really attentive for anything like that. And you just go from there. You give them your date. You let them know what you're planning, whether it's a wedding, a birthday, a bar mitzvah, a funeral, whatever the case may be, you have to give them an idea.
Okay. So I want to go back a little bit. When you conceptualize your conference or your event, and you got your date in mind, right?
Yes.
How do you determine how many people are going to attend this event?
That's really hard. I was taught this rule of thumb when planning parties. You pick a number in your head and say, okay, I'm gonna invite 200 people. Then you say only half are gonna even respond. Then that other half is the only one's gonna show.
Oh, wow. That's depressing.
It is. It's sad, and it's true.
Okay.
It really is true. But if you do that, you'll be surprised on how many people you can depend on to show. But that's where marketing comes in. That's when word of mouth comes in. That's when supporting comes in, stepping up, constantly taking an opportunity to showcase yourself at every moment. Every time you speak to someone and meet someone, that is your opportunity to be a walking advertising board. You know, you should be a soundboard for yourself. Whether you're a singer, a dancer, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter if they're asking you. You know, it could be just a whim of a conversation. Today, I'm being interviewed for my business. What is that event planning? If you ever need something, give me a call. It's Absolutely. So just that simple.
Well, that's what we're about over here. That's why we do this. So it's intentional over here.
It is.
African-American-Made. So you're on camera because you are showcasing what you do and introducing yourself to the world.
That
so
is
I'm
correct.
totally on point with that. Okay, so we have our venue, we have our date, we got 25% of the people that
That's right. That's right.
Okay. How do you determine pricing for your event?
Now, what pricing is, once I meet with the client, I get their budget. And I mean, like, I don't tell them, hey, what do you think you can afford? Flat out, what is it that you're trying to spend? You have people out here trying to spend $10,000 to $20,000 on events that wouldn't even cost them no more than $5,000. And it's only because they're using people with large names or businesses with large names. And you can take those same community-driven, supportive individuals and get the same quality with a smaller price tag.
But everybody wants to be downtown at the Hyatt, right? At the Sheraton Grand, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what good is that when you can't even go there and get a room later on?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What good is that?
Yeah.
So why support something that doesn't support you is my point.
That makes sense. I often wonder, and because I don't know much about this part of marketing for an event, I should, but I don't. When people decide, particularly when we're talking about Black events, right? Not to narrow this down too much, but when we're talking about Black events, I often wonder how the decision is made to go to a non-Black venue. Now, granted, I know that there aren't a lot of major Black venues. I understand that. So if you just got it popping like that, and you got 100,000 people showed up, then obviously you have to go that route, right? But I always raise an eyebrow, which I love to go to these places,
when we have these events in you know, these grand places that really don't support us that way?
Well, first off, and I know for sure, you know, we've all experienced this. We got that one minority that didn't stand up to par. We gave them a chance and we were just like, you know what, I'm over it. At least I know I can get this done over here. And I get it, you know, with the perfection and everything. Now, granted, if it's your wedding, I'm not gonna tell you, okay, let's go, you know.
well, and let's be clear here in my question, about my question. I know you as a person being brought on board to help your client.
Yes.
I mean, you're not going to tell them, you know, you're going to go with what they want. I was just saying that offline, like, you know, in terms of like, you know, black events and what have you.
Yeah, I mean,
but I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but
like,
because
you're not going to dictate to your client.
Yeah,
you're going to have the event.
Yeah, but that's a reality. You know, that's a reality. People have come to me and say, you know, I've even, you know, said it myself. Hey, I dealt with this person. I don't want to deal with them no more because they're not business minded. And I can't handle that because I'm representing not only myself, I'm representing my clients. So I cannot have those type of discrepancies at all. It has to be met where that I am giving the clients an experience. And if I'm going to give them an experience, I don't want it to be a bad one. Of course not.
Of course.
So with that being said, I'm going to go for the top tier. And if the top tier has to be at the Hyatt, whether they serve us or not, you know, regularly, and, you know, not saying that the Hyatt doesn't. I'm just,
of course.
right?
No,
we're not saying that at all. I stay in the Hyatt. I love it.
We are saying that.
Yes.
That going back to your, and this is more of a question than a statement. This idea that, you know, I had a bad experience with you know, black business or whatever, so I'm not going to do business with them.
Right.
I always raise an eyebrow to that because you can go to another black business, because I don't think anyone can say that's done a lot of business can say they've never had a bad experience in a non-black business.
Right.
But you still support.
And that's the
thing.
So
that's my only contention with that.
And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, as far as for me,
yeah,
I'm not going to go and deal with this person no more, but I will go and deal with another entrepreneur. It doesn't mean that I'm just going to say, okay, nope, I'm done with all the small businesses. Let's go over here. No, that's definitely not. Because I am a small business owner. So I'm going to consistently support the small business owners. Hopefully this one will look at that one and say, you know what, hey, I need to try this a little bit more differently. If they had a bad experience with Tom, I'm not going to say, you know what, forget Tom, let's go to Walmart. Let's go to Chanel. I'm not going to go to any of those places. I'm going to go to John. I'm going to search further. This is not the only, there are a plethora of entrepreneurs out here who would love, especially African American, who would love to extend their hands and customer service skills. They would love to.
Okay, so we got our date, we got our venue, we know how many people are going to show up. 5 people are going to show up, we've determined. And food.
Food, yes.
How does that work?
Now,
from your standpoint.
From my standpoint, I would then ask the client what type of fooding or foods would they like to serve. You have some clients that they want just finger foods, light fruits and stuff like that. You have vegetarians, you have, oh my goodness, you have so many different individuals and what they want to serve and as versus what they're going to serve. And that's where I step in. Well, first off, we pick a menu. And that goes from 2 to 3 meats, to 2 to 3 sides, down to your appetizers, even to your drinks and your desserts. So we go through the full entire menu. Then we determine what's affordable.
Okay, because I'm thinking shrimp, steak, and lobster.
And everybody does it. Everybody's like, oh, give me this. I want that.
Until they see that.
Until they see that price tag. That price tag, yes. That price tag is not fun.
So a venue may or may not have restrictions on, now this part I kind of understand. Well, I've seen. Restrictions on, well, they provide the food versus an outside caterer.
And that is correct.
True?
That is correct.
How does that work?
Yes. So again, that goes back to purchasing your venue.
Okay.
I would then ask you, what do you want? And that goes to also with your budget. Because if your budget is small, we're not going to get a venue that's going to do the food, because all that adds up. So what we're going to do, we're going to find a shell of a venue where that we can then incorporate everything ourselves. And that way it saves you on the dollar.
Okay, all right. So we got the date, we have the venue, we got the time, we have the menu.
The menu.
Shrimp, lobster, and
steak. Gotta have that steak.
3 meats, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Or you walk in and you just see pasta everywhere.
And onions. And onions. No meat, just onions.
The African-American-Made event.
Put some garlic bread on there. They won't know the difference.
You guys need to be healthy. I'm looking out for you guys. You don't need all that meat.
See, we have to have that meat. Oh my God, good steak. Oh.
I can just imagine you standing there and you're showing your client who's on a budget. And, they got, all these fancy things in their mind, and then you show them what
You're like, well, maybe you should look over here. Maybe a breakfast menu.
Right. Maybe I need to save up enough money for this event, man, Okay. Now, and I'm sure you could explain to me how this is determined by what kind of event it is, right?
Now, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to say, ask door price, tickets.
Now, if it's a ticketed priced event, then that would be different. Because you want people to come first off, and you want them to pay for an elegant or an experience. Nobody's, again, going to pay for a bad experience. So if I'm asking you to pay for a $50 meal, you're going to expect something for $50, because $50 essentially can feed your whole family. Let's just be real about that. You literally can take $50 and feed your entire family. But if you take that $50 and I say, you know what, I'm having this dinner, it's going to be a gala, blah, blah, blah. You're looking for a nice steak, or you're looking for a nice whipped potato. You're looking for elegance. And that's what I want to provide, just on a lower, cheaper budget. That's all.
Okay. So let's talk about a different type of event. It's my trap music coming out party, listening party, So we got my drill album coming out,
okay.
With a little trap in there.
All right.
And I got to showcase this thing.
Awesome.
What is the first thing you can do for me? Will do for me if I hire you.
The first thing that I will do for you, the first thing I would do is, first off, listen to your music.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Because I need to know.
Don't get hooked.
I need to know, first off, if we're a good match. I might not be the person for you.
Okay.
And that is determined on your music.
So do you listen to the whole album?
I do. I do. I am the person, I get in my car and I play your music, or I clean my house and I play your music.
Okay.
And that's how I get to, again, get the idea and the understanding as to who you are. Then I go on your page and your social media. Then I look, does your music match who you are? You have people out here singing about music that they have no clue about.
Absolutely.
They're just singing just to be singing because they sound good and it's great. Again, that's industry. I don't want industry. But
wait a minute. So you as a coming on to help them, is that your business? Like, you're just putting on the event for them. Is that your business, what their music is? And I'm saying, because my album coming out, I'm thinking
well,
about this.
and that's
Who
where,
are you to tell me? I just need you to set it up. I don't need you to tell me about it. I'm not matching. I know I'm from the suburbs.
I'm so sorry. I'm not an event planner. I am an event management.
Okay, thank you for correcting me on that, because
Yeah.
I was about to get on about my album.
No, I do carry the credentials and the expertise and the experience of over 30 years of management, whether was in music or an artist. No, it wasn't. But do I have managerial skills? Yes.
You look for a fit to help your client put on an event, and you determine that they're popping. You determine that they're the one you want, right?
Then that's when I look into my team, and I have a creative team, and then I let them work with them personally as far as putting them on for a set is what it's called. Putting their set together.
Okay.
And that's what we want to do. We want to put their set together. And a lot of people think, oh, I'm popping, I'm out here, my music's playing also. That's great. But you don't want to put something too big, because how many people are going to come see you is the question. Yeah, it's easy for me to listen to your music over the radio. I don't have to come see you, And just because you're popping doesn't mean that they think you're popping that way.
And I would think that, and you can educate me, I would think that there's so much traffic out there. I mean, almost every other person is doing their own thing now because of how, the equipment is cheaper, getting on social media is. So I mean, the avenues are so much more open than they were in the past.
They are.
So every other person think they can do something, right?
And that's where, and again, as the avenues start off like this. It could be 4 or 5 lanes, but eventually you're going to merge over, and there will be only one lane.
Got you. That's perfect analogy. So you're explaining this to this artist who thinks he's the best thing since Outkast, right?
I know, right?
So you do the showcase, right? Yes. And so you find the venue, you set up the aesthetics of it for them, right? Okay.
Yes.
And you're inviting, or you are selling tickets to people who are into this person.
That is correct.
Or you're introducing this person to the community.
Correct.
All right. Or to the industry. Are you involved on the other side of that, or are you just planning the venue and the aesthetics part with your team?
I do get involved as far as the marketing, only because I'm really big on marketing. But as far as the aesthetics, no.
Okay, no. So I'm glad you said the marketing part, because I noticed on your Instagram you have a lot of showcases, flyers.
That's
I call them
correct.
flyers. I'm old school, right?
Yes, that's right. They're flyers.
Well, they call them something else now, but they look like flyers to me.
Pluggers. That's what they used to call them. Pluggers. Yeah.
Okay. So these are events that you've been involved with.
That is correct.
Okay, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So after you've done the whole, thing on the one end with the artist, are you involved with putting the flyers together and blasting them, or?
Actually, I do the flyers myself.
Slide over to AfricanAmerican-Made to see what you get. But my flyers suck.
Look, I'm your girl.
I'm not doing myself any service on the flyers, but no. So that's amazing. So I noticed, I'm going to pivot a little bit. I noticed that you have done some, or were involved in some large women conferences, if you will.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the inspiration behind that? Or is it related to what you said earlier about the smaller collective you did with the women?
Actually,
is that your niche? Is that something that you are really you know, you're really advocating?
It actually, yeah, I really am. It actually started from a conversation that I had with one of my play sisters. And we always talked every morning. And we were just always, we found ourselves always talking about women. Hey, Toy. And we were always talking about women and the roles that we play and how young women are different from the women 20 years ago or just 30 years ago. And it's like, it's such a vast difference. Like, you took the women that were in the 60s and the 70s, nothing much changed, maybe a hairdo or the length of a dress. That was it. You took the women from the 70s to the 80s, still nothing. Maybe the hair, again, maybe the width of a dress. Nothing much changed. But somehow between that 90 and 2000, it just kind of went downhill. And it went downhill and kept going to the point where it's like, girl, get up. And I decided that I don't want to sit up and talk about what women are doing or what could be done or who isn't doing it and why no one's doing it for us. I wanted to be the person to do something.
I blame Lil' Kim. I'm just joking.
Look, I can't even say I'm not
You see why I never get invited anywhere, right?
Look, I love Lil' Kim. I'm learning to listen to her lyrics a little bit more.
Without having to take a shower
It's
first afterwards.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
But
well,
I mean,
I'll tell you this, and I know we're going down the rabbit hole. The lyricists today, the artists today, make Lil' Kim blush.
Look, I said the same thing. I said, I can listen to Lil' Kim now. Like, I was like, girl, I can listen to you now. Her, Foxy Brown, I can listen to them now.
Yeah, remember Foxy Brown when everybody was like,
Man,
oh my God.
she was
man,
like, I know, right? Yeah, she's a nun. They're nuns compared to
Sukiana and
yeah, it's I know, I get it. I get the whole freedom of speech. I get it. We want to be heard. I get it. I really do. Sex is a very beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, magical thing. That's what's great about sex. But for some reason, the world wants to paint sex as this dirty, disgusting, hide it, it shouldn't be shared. Don't talk about it, don't share it, don't look at it, don't smell it, don't taste it, don't nothing. Don't touch it. It's like it shouldn't happen, but if it doesn't, how can we exist?
Yeah.
So
how do you correlate that with busting it wide open on the red carpet?
I can't. Like, I just can't. I can't. The fact of the word busting it open.
Well,
phrase
I should have used
itself.
a different phrasing and all
That's
that. But I mean,
that's out there.
How else can you describe?
Well, actually, that's what, if I'm not mistaken, that's in a lot of the lyricists.
Yeah, I know I heard it somewhere. I just try to run from it, But so you, in the business that you're in and what you do when you're meeting artists and you're meeting people, and do you find yourself, and I know this is related to you,
I know what you're going to
putting together, things for women to have these conversations.
Right.
It's my understanding that, and maybe this is not something you do, you just do it with the people that have the similar mindset, but that those women are not listening to women like yourself.
That is true. Well, first off, like I said, I get to know people. And one thing I don't do, I don't judge. You could have the most ratchetest song out there. I'm going to listen to it. I may be dying on the inside, but I'm going to listen to it. Because at the end of the day, it's not for me to judge what and how you feel to get your music out.
Where do you see your business going from here?
Oh, my business. I see my business going vastly, vastly far. I'm actually currently working on my first national women's conference per se, and this is going to be 1 million women standing in prayer in Washington, and it's going to take place next year. So this is the most biggest event I've ever done.
Okay, great. And so can you elaborate a little bit about what inspired you to put that together?
What inspired me, again, actually just looking at our society, our communities as a Black people, and listening to people ask for retribution, rights, justice, law. We've been asking for this since slavery. And they're not hearing us. They're not going to give it to you. They're not going to give it to us. And they're going to do everything they can to stop you from achieving it. I pretty much want to get enough women together to first off recognize and support each other, because we have separated ourselves as women, as females, and we're not there for each other. A girlfriend, you know, women need a good girlfriend, a friend that they can relate to.
I thought the sisterhood was strong right now. I see in media.
You know,
do you think that's just something
it's strong, but it's strong in circles.
Okay.
And what we want to do, we want to open up those circles.
Okay.
And get those circles linked together. What good is having your sisterhood over here, my sisterhood over here, if they don't know each other?
So it still sounds cliquish.
Yeah, and that's what we want to do. We want to open that all up.
Okay.
You know, it's and women are, don't get me wrong, women are looking at each other in a different way. You know, they're not jealous of each other, never was. It would take another individual to push those types of thoughts on that person or make them feel that way. Other than that, women used to think other women were just naturally beautiful, and we supported each other. Somehow, some way, the balance got off.
I see.
We stopped nurturing each other, and we stopped nurturing ourselves.
So this event is designed to kind of bring women from all walks of life together.
All walks of life.
Okay. And where do the men fall? I mean, how do the men play a part? Because I hear a lot of
where they get involved in this type of event, they support the woman. They support her, because this is where the woman is.
You mean like get her ticket to
the ticket, get her gas, get her there.
Flip flyers.
Flip flyers, whatever you need to do, support the woman, because for one, without the woman, life ends. We bring life, and we need to support women, especially single mothers, women who've lost their children, and that's what I want to do. We got to give each other that shoulder to cry on, and women are missing that. They're literally waking up, going through the fundamentals of life in pain, distracted. They're not even there. They're not even conscious half the time. They're just in such a let's go, you know, robotic state that they're just moving. They haven't even taken time out to breathe.
I see.
And that's what I want to reestablish, nurturing the woman so that she can be the woman. She can be a productive mother. She can be a productive sister, aunt, mom, whatever she wants to be, but she cannot be all these things carrying all this stress and weight, and it's impossible because she wasn't made to do it.
I see, I understand. Well, I do hope that your event is massive and
I
you get
really
all the
hope
support
so.
that you can too. What would you like people to know about you?
What I want someone to know about me. I am loyal. And when I say loyal, I mean to myself. So if I'm loyal to myself, I have to be loyal to the next person because I represent me. And that's really important to me. I want to see everyone happy. like literally everyone. And I know everybody's like, oh, nobody believes that. I know.
Yeah.
But just with this Million Women's March, I'm asking every woman to register on my website,
Put that out there.
bgimanagement.com. But go on there and register. It's a $50 registration fee. The $50 goes towards, all of the proceeds goes towards the Million Women March and to trade schools all over the urban communities across the states, the United States. We want to start beautifying the neighborhoods. We want to put grass back outside and trees and build our neighborhoods up in our communities. That's what this money is for. And again, it's my first. So this will be an annual event every year, and I expect the numbers to grow massively.
Well, I wish you all the success
Thank you.
that you can possibly muster in doing this.
Thank you.
Anything African-American-Made can do to support, definitely in there for you with that.
Thank you.
It has been an honor talking to you. It's
Thank
been really
you.
fun too.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna get you on my album, get you plug my album and get it popping, okay? So
I got you.
you got me,
Look.
right? my trap album.
That's right. We gonna turn up.